Hello, children. How are you all? I hope you all are fine and enjoying your day. Dear students, today we are going to start chapter number 1 from the Beehive book, and the title of the chapter is The Fun They Had. It means here we will talk about the fun that they had. They means your people. The story is written by Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov is a Russian writer. Okay. Dear children, this is a very light story. It is set in the future. It will make all of you love school. This story is regarding school life and how those children who do not go to school miss school. The setting of the story is in the future when perhaps there will be no school, no books. Now, how those children will miss going to school and will feel that their ancestors, that is the present generation, means you all, had fun going to school, meeting and helping each other. Okay? Now, dear children, let's start the story. Here in the picture, you can see that these are the children of future. Means they will be living in 22nd century and learning through computer. Okay, not a human teacher. There will be robotic teacher. There will be gadgets and virtual classroom. Let's begin. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary on the page headed 17 May 2157. She wrote, "Today, Tommy had found a real book." Okay. Here, Margie is the main character of the story. She is a girl of 11 years of age. She writes a diary on the night of 17th May 2157. Right now, we are living in 2020. As told earlier, the story is set in the future. Okay, means this is a story of future. Now, and it is set in the year 2157, so almost 1.5 century, that is 140 years from now, more than 140 years. At that time, Margie wrote, she writes an entry in her diary, and she writes that Tommy found a real book, and she is feeling so strange because in her times real books do not exist. They only have a book, e-books, the virtual books. So books in the format of printed on a paper are extinct, and so Margie is astonished to see a real book. Okay, that's why she writes, "Today Tommy found a real book." Now, it was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, uh, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on a paper. Okay. Now, Margie is reminded of her grandfather. He told her that his grandfather studied all the books that were printed on paper. So, this kind of a book is historical or ancient for them, something which they cannot believe, they can't imagine. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. Now, dear children, what was surprising? Margie is talking about the book that Tommy had found. She says that the pages of the book had turned yellow and they had been crushed as it was very old. The children found it funny to read the words which stood still. Now, what does it mean by that words that stood still? As the words were printed on the pages, they did not move. On the other hand, the books that Margie and Tommy read were online. They were ebooks. So in the ebooks, how it happens? The text keeps on moving as your screen moves. But it was different in the books printed on paper. That's why they were very surprised to see the words that stood still. Now, "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." Dear children, Tommy disliked the printed book. He said that it was a waste because he felt that whenever you complete reading a book, you have to throw it away. You cannot have some different story written on the same book. On the contrary, on the other hand, he felt that the computer screen was very good because the same screen had shown him many books and still he could read many more uh, on it. He would not have to throw that screen away when once he had read a particular story. That's why he thinks that the real book is a kind of waste. Same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many as telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. Now, here we come to know about the age of Tommy and Margie. Okay, Margie agreed with Tommy's opinion. Margie was 11 years of age and she has not read as many as books Tommy had because Tommy was older to Margie. He was 13 years of age. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house," he pointed without looking because he was busy reading in the attic. "What is it about school?" Now Margie asked Tommy that where had he found the printed book. Okay, and Tommy replied to Margie that he found the printed book in the storeroom of his house. Attic means storeroom. He was so busy reading the book that he did not remove his glance from the book. Glance means his look. He was just looking in the book. Margie asked that what the book was about, and Tommy replied it was about the school, about going to school. Margie was scornful. Okay, she was scornful. Scornful means showing you think something is worthless. Show your dislike or dislike for something. Okay, so here Margie hated the word school, and so she said that what was there to write about it, and that an entire book had been written about school. Okay, now Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Now, here we will come to know about the hatred of Margie about the school. What had happened? What is Margie's school? Margie's school is a mechanical teacher. A mechanical teacher, that means the machine which teaches you and not that school where we all go. Now, why did Margie hate school? Margie's school was a virtual classroom. It was not a real school. It was not a real school like we have today. So, in the future, we are thinking that the school will be virtual. Okay, and there will be machines that will be teaching the children. Margie hated this machine because it was giving her so many tests in geography which were very difficult for her and she was performing very bad. Finally, her mother thought that there was something wrong with the machine, and so she had called the county inspector to check the machine. So, dear students, that's all for today's class. Rest we will discuss in our next class. Till then, thank you. Please take care and study this chapter carefully. Thank you.